Welcome to your yin practice. What we're going to be working on together is a 360-degree hip mandala. Mandala in Sanskrit means circle. So we're going to work the circumference of our hips from all 360 degrees as we explore our postures. The poses will be held anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, not that long. Some of our poses are quite intense today, and I will add as many modifications as I can. Now, if you have nearby yoga blocks and a bolster, definitely grab them, bring them along. And I will definitely recommend having something to pad your knees because we will be doing a frog pose. Remember, when we work our yin expressions, we are working on ligaments in the myofascial system. This is less about engaging our muscles and working, and more about learning how to let go, which is a lot more challenging than most people think. So I want you to get your stuff together and let's see how we do with our mandala. When it comes to yin, I always like to let you know when you have 1 minute left in your pose. What that allows us to do is call the mind back if it's drifted, or perhaps go a little bit deeper into our expression if our body's ready for it. So for today, I'll be playing with a rain stick. And when you hear that, know it's our opportunity to go a little bit deeper if we're ready for it. Our first pose is going to be butterfly. Let's talk about the different options and you can see what feels best for your body. The soles of the feet are going to come together. And if you notice as you set up that you're kind of spilling back on the pelvis here, what I want you to do is grab a towel, cushions, a blanket, and try to bring yourself right up and onto the edge of it so that you could spill yourself forward. Now, if I pull my feet in close, I can feel this on my inner thighs. If I extend my feet a little further away into a diamond shape and fold forward, the action moves more into the outer hip than the inner hip and groin. So deciding where you want your focus to be. If your soles of the feet are close, you can deepen this expression by using blocks. By putting blocks on my inner thighs here, I can really send my body weight forward and come into a deeper opening of the hips. Our expression will be 3 minutes, so once you get set up, close your eyes. Try to drop into a place of feeling. And even though the mind still might be thinking, just begin to let those thoughts feel a little more distant. Becoming more aware of the breath and just deepening the inhale. Feel yourself sink into your expression on the exhale. And we want to avoid fidgeting, but micro movements to settle into your pose or perhaps go a little bit deeper. Take some time to focus on your breath. Without force, just letting the inhale lengthen. And feel your body start to sink a little bit deeper into your expression as you exhale. Take a moment to come up and take a breath. Go ahead and find your expression 1 more minute. See if you can go a little deeper. Give yourself permission to let your hips totally relax. Exiting this one nice and slow. As you unfold, just bring those legs out in front of you. You can take it into a little windshield here, back and forth. And we'll set up for half shoelace. Extend those legs out in front of you. You want to make sure they are totally relaxed. Left leg is going to cross over the right. You want to rock back and forth. Make sure you're up and onto those sit bones and begin to extend the heart forward. Now, as you come into this fold, you might want to rest your forehead on a block or a bolster for a little extra support. You can also just let the head hang. Make sure you're looking in with the eyes. The more you can look in with the eyes, the more we could focus on opening and lengthening our backside, the whole posterior chain. As you drop into your expression, I want you to feel your breath begin to expand through the back body. And feel yourself sinking on the exhale, really releasing and surrendering into your shape. We're also breathing into the folds and compression. Make some adjustments here. Inhale, lengthen, soften. Hands underneath those shoulders. Oh, nice and slow. Come up. We'll take that windshield again. Just notice your two sides. And let's see what that second side has to offer. Right leg is going to come up and over. Make sure you feel even on the sit bones, and I have a tendency to want to engage through this extended leg. Really let it soften and relax. Inhale, get tall. Pull the shoulders down your back as you extend the heart forward. Find your edge. Look in with the eyes, maybe support the forehead if you need that block. And as you set up for the second side, just notice how different it might feel from your first side. Make some adjustments in that final minute. Full breath in, exhale, feel your body sinking. Hands underneath those shoulders, and we'll begin to release, rising up. Swing your legs around. We're going to meet in a table position, hands and knees. As you climb your way up, find your way into some nice, gentle cat-cow movements. Inhale to lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Exhale, curl under, round the back. From here, you can take it into your own organic movements, maybe wagging the tail or making a circular churn of the ribs. Just bring some movement and life back into your body. As you come back to center, tuck your toes and send your hips back. I want you to climb your way up onto your feet. We're going to take this right into a pose called dangling. You'll want to rest your belly on your thighs, so deep bend to the knees. Let your head totally relax. You can ragdoll the arms here. If your backside is a little more open, then you can begin to lengthen your legs as much as you'd like. But our goal here is to hang, opening up through those hamstrings. Traction the spine. If at any point in your pose you need a little release, you'll inhale, come up halfway. You can lift the gaze towards the foot of the mat. And as you feel ready, you can come back into your expression. We'll be holding this for 2 minutes. I realize we are in inversion here, so not too long. Notice the weight may want to shift to the heels. Try to float more towards the toes or find equal balance between the front and the back of the foot. Hands to the shins, take a little lift here. Full breath in, lengthen the spine, lift your tailbone to the ceiling, exhale. Last minute, come into your fold. Making sure we come out of this one nice and slow. Hands to the shins. Inhale, just come to a flat back. You can lift towards the front of the mat. Tailbone is lifted. Soft bend to your knees and roll your way up. You always want to come out of those folds nice and slow. Step your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And just take it into a little twist to let that fold totally wash out of your body. Okay, we're going to get ready for Malasana, which is a squat. I'll show you the full variation, but then we're going to go through some modifications. Your Malasana, the toes are turned out as you sink back and down. Now, a lot of times what happens is we can get down here, but our knees fall in and we collapse into our arches, which does a lot of wear and tear for the joints. So if you are in full expression, you want to focus on pushing out so that you can feel the inner arches lifted. Now, even though I can do a full Malasana here, I find that some of the modifications actually get me deeper. So let's talk about them. The first one you can do is you can just give a little lift of your heels by standing on a rolled towel or a blanket. This might just give you the ability to get a little more lift up and out of the pelvis, right? So we can hold here. Most people like to take their Malasana sitting on blocks. If I sit on blocks, I can still turn my toes and my knees out. Because I have a little bit of leverage here, I could spill my body weight forward and really get into that inner hip and groin. Now, if neither one of these work for you, I'm going to suggest you pop up onto a chair or the edge of a sofa so that you can just get a little more height onto your hips. We're going to take this for 2 minutes. So pose of choice. Take a nice full breath in, try to fill the belly, and on the exhale, just try to sink into your pose. People often ask me if I had to do one yoga pose, what would it be? And I would say Malasana. This is allowing us to access our hips, and it's also allowing that compression for internal organs, getting the lymph flow, getting compression and movement into the GI system. And a lot of us can't sit in this pose, right? If we don't practice it, we lose the ability and the mobility in our hips. So Malasana would be my answer. If I had to do one pose during the day, what would it be? Make some small adjustments here, see if you can go a little bit deeper in that final minute. Begin to heel toe those feet together, just coming out nice and slow. Okay, our next pose is frog. Frog is quite intense, so you can always take the modification where you're doing a half frog. You can do 1 minute on each side. We'll be doing a 2-minute hold. If you want the full expression of frog but can't because of your knees, you can do this against a wall. So check out that modification. For those of you who are coming into full frog with me, please make sure you have your knee pad down. Setting up that blanket if you're coming into full frog with me. You'll want to focus on a 90-degree angle. So I've got a 90-degree angle from the foot to the shin and the shin to the hip. Coming down onto those forearms, and you'll want to focus on pushing your body weight back. You'll notice if you float forward, the pose is a little easier. So I want you to come to your edge. Your edge is not pain, but certainly feeling a little bit of discomfort. So I want you to find your spot that you think you can hang out in for at least 2 minutes. And I just focus on keeping a neutral pelvis and keeping that nice hold right as I am. Allow all the muscles to relax. Easier said than done. Close your eyes and try to get comfortable with being a little uncomfortable. One of Yin's greatest teachers. Use your breath, feeling your body soften on the exhale. For those of you who are in your half frog, go ahead and make a transition. You want to come to your second side. We are over halfway. Make some minor adjustments if you're in full frog with me. See if you could hinge back ever so slightly into those hips. For my full frogs, to exit your pose, I just want you to nice and slow begin to walk those elbows forward. Oh, take your time. Pull those knees together and just give it a little windshield from side to side. Press up and back. We're going to take this into a full shoelace. I've also heard this called knee pile. This might be one you want to do on your back if doing it seated is not working for you. We're going to get started with your left leg over your right leg, hence knee pile, right? I want to try to stack my knees one on top of the other. If this isn't working for you, I want you to roll onto your back and join us in the same exact expression. Find your pose on your back or seated, and focus on shortening the distance between your belly and thighs, right? So you're either pulling your legs in from the ground, or if you're seated, you're gonna extend your body forward. Taking that option again, bolster, right? Or blocks, if you wanted to put blocks in front of you to support your forehead. I'm one to really just wanna let my body weight hang in this expression. If you're on your back, you can always explore, take a gentle rock from side to side. See if there's another angle that you need to find to settle in. Imagine if those inhales could breathe a little more space into the hip, into sensation, and on the exhale, soften in. Make some adjustments. Find your way down. Notice if there's any gripping here, so really try to relax. Notice if you're fighting your pose. Try to let it go. Notice the places where the mind drifts or it's critiquing or judging. Just try to be in your body without having to perform or be perfect, but just from a place of feeling. Take your time, nice and slow, to come out of that one. Whether you're on your back or seated, just bring those feet nice and wide, gentle windshield. Notice how you're feeling. And let's see how this feels on our second side. So let's see. We'll have our left underneath, our right on top. If you're seated with me, I focus on getting into the middle of my shape. I want to find that compression, so belly to thighs from either pose, seated or on the ground. As you sink in, perhaps grab that support if you want some blocks underneath the forehead, coming into your fold. The body is totally relaxed. Notice if you are fighting. Try to breathe in. And on the exhale, just soften. Remember, our mind likes to judge and critique. It likes to drift. Just try to be present. Let your practice unfold. Breath in, make some adjustments here. Find your way back into that pose for one more minute. See if you can go a little deeper. If you're on your back, just maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Remember, we want to let go completely, no effort in the body. Roll your way out nice and slow. You can pull those legs out from underneath you. If you're on your back, we are going to meet you down there. Settling onto your back, we're going to set up for half saddle or different variations of it. If you have that expression in your body, you're going to tilt to the left so that you can take that right foot right next to the hip and roll onto your back. I'm always mindful here that I, number one, don't have pain or compression in my low back, or that I'm straining or sickling this right foot. If this pose does not feel good in your body, I want you to take the alternative and windshield your legs to the left, and you're going to feel it down the right thigh. Find your pose. We're going to hold for 2 minutes. Remember, our goal is to let everything go, so try to soften all the muscles, especially if you notice you are fighting back in this expression. Try to let it go. Just check in with your body here. Notice if you're fighting back. Make some small adjustments. Full breath in, exhale, side out. Exiting your pose, you might want to bend that left leg so you can help remove the right. Take this into a nice little windshield. Notice how you're feeling on your two sides. Remembering that if you're taking that second variation, you're just going to let your knees windshield to the right. So you're going to feel this down your left thigh here. You can take that option to stack one foot on top. So right would stack on top of left. And if you're in your saddle pose, rock to the right so that you can go ahead and tuck the left underneath. Paying attention to back pain here. Make sure you feel safe in your pose before you completely relax and soften in. Make your micro movements. Let go of any holding or gripping. Take another couple rounds of breath. Nice and slow. Go ahead and draw those legs out from underneath you. Pull the knees into the chest. Just gently rock the spine. To complete our practice, we'll take this into a really gentle twist. Dropping your knees to the right. I like to hold the legs down here. If you wanted to go a little bit deeper, you can extend your legs out and make what feels like a little L position. Gentle head rocks, or just let it roll to the left. You want to keep both shoulders on the floor here. Full breath in, and use that exhale, pulling the knees through center. Setting up knees stacked to the left, or maybe find the extension if that feels good. Gentle head rocks, or just look to the right. Final pose. With that next exhale, begin to pull those knees back to center. Make some final adjustments here. Maybe lift and lower your hips, deciding where you want to take Shavasana. You can tent your knees in, allow the feet to walk wide, shoulders melt into the floor. And if you prefer to extend your legs long and feel yourself begin to soften into our final pose of practice. As you exhale, feel the body melt into the ground. Beginning to let the mind drift to wherever it'd like to go. Feel the muscles soft and supple, almost as if they were liquid, and a heaviness in your bones. Notice where your mind is. Try to keep your eyes closed. Just watch from a distance as thoughts drift by. Feeling more present in your body and feeling the ground beneath you, the walls around you. And incorporating the small movements in the fingers and toes or a gentle rock of your head. Make a transition, roll to one side. Pause in the fetal pose. Pressing into palms and ease up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to heart center, humble, bow forward. Acknowledge any changes or shifts in your mind or body after spending a little bit of time with me in your body and on your mat. Open your eyes. Here's to hoping you feel your yin practice for the rest of the day and into tomorrow. This channel offers you content for mind and body. If there's anything specific you'd want to see, let me know in the comments. I do work on producing something weekly. Of course, consider subscribing, liking, or maybe passing this on to someone who you think would like it. I hope we get to work together soon. Namaste.